It's election day 2024, and I figured I'd record from an angle I haven't recorded from before. So, my thoughts. Where this country's next 4 years are going to go will be determined by what happens today. Now, I'm not sure whether or not to trust what's going on because I still think that one day of voting with voter ID, with no mail in ballots, no drop off ballots. You can only count a vote if somebody goes to the polls. That way we know how many people actually voted as opposed to, oh, let's just make up some Amazon shipping boxes and send them with, these boxes full of ballots. Look, I'm not saying that actually has happened and goes on. I'm just saying it's a possibility. And to rule out any possibility of shenanigans, you have to go back to the style that we used to have in this country, which was one day of voting, one ballot per person, absentee ballots only for military servicemen and women, and that's it. Okay? That's it. There's no other way around it. And obviously, what's it called? Chain of custody issues. So have a security camera on the ballot box. No electronic ballot counting machines. I'm drawing a blank on the name of those things right now. But we're gonna see. We're gonna see if people like what's it almost what's it $37 trillion of debt? Isn't it? I think it's close to 38 now. It's you lose count after a while. We're gonna see if people like the inflation that's going on. We're gonna see if they like having to pay more for rent, more for their houses. Oh my goodness, these houses that cost over $400,000 should only be worth around 200, maybe not even that. I remember back in the 90s, these houses went from like 60,000 to 150. That was your normal house. Rich people lived in houses that cost $400,000. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need to get back to that time period. The regular everyday citizen can't afford this. Minimum wage, at the very minimum, at the very least, should be $20 an hour. And even that's, still going to be roughing it for a lot of people. So we're going to see if the voters out there turn out. We're going to see, whether this election actually was close or not, or if the pollsters were lying to us or just polling the wrong people. Because the ultimate poll that matters is the one at the ballot box. And like I said, because of all the drop off and mail in ballots, it's still not a 100% secured election. Now, some states have changed their election laws, but not enough. So we're going to see what happens. And here's the thing, whoever ends up winning, I'm going to hold them to the fires, and meaning this national debt needs to get under control. One thing I haven't ever seen one of these media outlets do is pay a visit to the Federal Reserve Bank in Washington, D.C. You ever see them do a video inside of that bank? You ever see them do a video trying to interview employees outside of that Federal Reserve Bank? These people who are the cause of inflation. Inflation literally means the money supply, the currency expanding and losing its value over time. It doesn't have to lose its value. That's the thing. People think, oh yeah, inflation is a must. No, guess what? There was a year in the last 15 year. No, not 15. I'm going to say last 18 years, where there was deflation, where the money supply, the value of the money went up. Just 1 year, though. Just 1 year. So what are we to do as American citizens? Number one, no matter who wins, I don't think this person's going to be a savior again unless we hold their feet to the fires. The only way we're going to be able to do that is we can get close to the White House. If we can actually walk up there, that's another thing. I want to see how they actually handle things nowadays. Like, what are these people? Who are their names? What are the security guards doing? The Capitol Police? Like, what are they doing, huh? What are their names? What are their faces? Take your sunglasses off. Take your hats off. I want to know your names. I want to know how much money you're making to protect these people who are destroying lives. More and more people are becoming homeless. More and more people are losing their jobs at middle age or late stage. The elderly, The elderly are being hurt by inflation more than anybody else. And all these people who were retired, they're getting jobs again, which is then messing up jobs for the youngsters. I was just at Burger King, and there's old, I hate to say it like this, there's old people working at Burger King. Those people should be retired. You know what I mean? That's sad to even see. Like these people should be retired and enjoying the sunset of their lives. And because of these corrupt politicians, and also because of the inaction of we the people allowing this to happen. Now, don't get me wrong, we are like, compared to them, who, you know, they have the ultimate power, which is the ability to print money, to the ability to print and steal via taxes currency. If you or I had that ability, oh yeah, we'd be able to build up armories and build up armies and things like that. But it's going to be up to us. It's going to be up to us ultimately on whether we're sick and tired of this stuff, or really what my suggestion is if you have nothing left to lose, if you have a terminal illness, if you are in your elderly years, please, for the sake of this country and for your legacy, it's time to take the power back. What do you have to lose? You're going to die anyway. We're all going to die anyway. I'm going to die later than later than the elderly and terminally ill. But again, like, you got to think about these things. You want to make history? You want to stand by and let these a-holes continue to be in power, or do you want to make history? Like, I hate to say it, the guy that almost assassinated Trump, people know his name now. He made history, even though it was a failed attempt. And I'm not saying that was a good thing. I'm just saying that assassination attempt is a part of history now. That is undeniable. So, and again, I'm not suggesting anybody do this. And what I am suggesting is that the police of this country start enforcing the laws, go after these corrupt politicians so that they can no longer run for office. Stop turning your back and pretending like, oh, I'm just following orders. I'm just following orders. No, you're not just following orders. You follow the orders of the Constitution, the documents that you took an oath to. That's what you guys need to be doing. That is the orders that you need to be following. So guess what? Adam's going to be showing up to your workplaces. The only reason I don't do more of this is because of budgetary reasons. That's a fact. If somebody donated $1,000 to me, I would be able to go around this county and meet these people head on a lot more often. Unfortunately, gas isn't free. And that's one thing. It's like, man, I hate it that every time I go and confront these people, I lose money. They're earning money off of theft, and I'm losing money going after them. It's always been something that perplexed me and perturbed me, and just, I hate it that they get money for violating our rights. It is so infuriating. That's why I ran for office, because I'm like, you know what? I can defend people's freedoms. I can defend people's civil rights, and I'm going to get paid to do it, and that's going to be awesome. And Baltimore County is going to be a better place, not only for civil rights, but we're going to take care of the rat trap issue. There's going to be a lot less potholes in the roads. There's going to be a lot less corruption going on with government contractors, no bid contracts. But unfortunately, the media, and that's not what I didn't bank on the media blacklisting me. It was one of the biggest, it just infuriated me that you had a guy who's running for Congress now get treated like gold, and I was treated like the shit on the ground. And that's the absolute truth. But you know what? I allowed them to do that. I should have been banging on their doors. I should have been like this. I should have been like, let me in there. I'm running for county executive. But I didn't do that. And I'm being facetious because I want to make a more interesting YouTube video. But in reality, I should have been knocking on their effing doors and putting my flyers, taping them to their gates, taping them to their front doors. When you're running for office, if you're going to put your name and face out there when you run for office, you better go hard or go home. And you know what? I had to go home. That's the reality. All those times I put my flyers around people's houses, I should have at least one time went to the news stations, recorded the fact that I knocked on their doors, that I talked to reporters in the parking lots at these different news stations. That way they couldn't have said, oh, we didn't know who you were. Well, guess what? Then it would have been an outright lie. But the reality is, people like me, real middle-class candidates who are not connected to the bankers, the central bankers of the world, we don't get any respect. That's why you need to demand it. You need to force your way into the airwaves if they're not going to respect you like that. But what I did is I formed my own media outlet so that the gatekeepers can no longer be keeping the gates. There's another gate to open. Unfortunately, right, it's going to be an uphill battle because these people have been in business for a very long time. Longer than I've been born, longer than I've been on planet Earth. So, you know, but you got to do what you got to do. But my wish is that the good people get elected and the bad people have to walk away hiding their tails between their legs.